The talks in London between Prince Harry's team and the team of the King, the peace summit, which apparently Harry's team are upset has been leaked to the press, I think is a positive thing. The fragile, tentative, highly publicised peace summit between the households of King Charles and Prince Harry is a fascinating study in family monarchy trust and the corrosive power of publicity. Last week, senior aides to the King and Prince Harry met discreetly, or so they hoped, at a private members' club near Clarence House in London. This meeting was billed as the first step in a long-awaited rapprochement. On paper, it was simple, casual drinks on the terrace, but nothing in royal diplomacy is ever truly simple. On Harry's side, there was Meredith Maines, his newly appointed California-based communications chief, and Liam Maguire, who oversees the Sussex's UK PR operation. Representing the King was Tobin Andre, the monarch's own communications secretary, and these are figures who manage the public face of two estranged camps, and their presence underscored that this is about more than family. It was about controlling the narrative. There was no formal agenda. The aim was simply to open a channel of communication after years of silence, mistrust, and bitter accusations, and one source described it as a first step towards reconciliation between Harry and his father. Both sides want to talk, but are wary, and one can only imagine the caution on both sides about what might leak to the press or find its way into a future Harry interview. Ironically, the entire event was quickly leaked in detail to the Mail on Sunday. Venue, timing, presence of the aides photographed on the balcony. And Team Sussex has insisted it was not responsible, arguing that being papped in the middle of peace talks is the last thing they'd want. But the damage was done. Instead of quiet diplomacy, there was now a front-page spectacle, reigniting old suspicions about trust and privacy. This is the royal family's core modern problem. Every effort at private repair risks becoming public drama. And we shouldn't forget what brought us here. The rupture began with the Sussexes' departure to America and the fraught negotiations over their exit deal, which is absurd. Utterly absurd. That exit deal should never have happened. It deepened with Harry and Meghan's opera interview, which equally should never have happened, where they alleged racism within the family. And Harry's memoir, Spare, should never have happened and was appallingly ghost-written. And more incendiary, describing a physical fight with Prince William and then accusing Charles of jealousy and self-interest and all the Todger stuff as well. Never. It should never have happened. And before you say, oh, you haven't read, I've got my copy over there. Then came Harry's court battles with the security arrangements in the UK. That should have happened. Arguing the King could intervene but would not. Again, that shouldn't have happened. And the court appearances about the telephone tapping, that should have happened. And Harry is absolutely right and brave and good to be standing up against this monolithic abuse of power and control. The Sussexes made their case in the High Court, in the media, exacerbating the rift, of course. In February last year, when King Charles was diagnosed with cancer, Harry rushed to see him, suggesting the door was not fully closed, but reconciliation is not easy when every word is scrutinized for betrayal or advantage. Senior royals reportedly remained wary of saying anything to Harry for fear it would be repeated in interviews or memoirs, or at least that is now the line that we've been fed. Rather like the line that we were fed that recollections may vary. There's so many slogans because the royal family and their aides learn it from the second-rate politicians who have made slogans an alternative to conversation. They might as well be parading with cardboard slogans, which may or may not be prescribed at a minute's notice. Why attempt talks at all? Because both sides see the value of open channels, because both sides actually have a few adults in the room. And I like to think Prince Harry is one, and I like to think his father is one, because the spectacle of a broken royal family undermines the monarch's moral authority. And ultimately, because there's still love there, at least from the King to his son, if not trust. And future events like the 2027 Invictus Games in Birmingham are being eyed as a possible opportunity for public reunions. But as one source put it bluntly, any real progress will depend on Harry ending the endless media offensives. But that means him being brought back into the fold. The summit was fragile, imperfect. It's an imperfect first step. The league that followed was a predictable fiasco that threatens to undo the goodwill built over a few glasses of wine on a London terrace. But even so, both households know that avoiding contact forever is impossible. The monarchy depends on unity, or at least the appearance of unity, and the challenge is formidable. To rebuild trust between a father and son in the harshest glare of the world's media. If they succeed, it will be a victory not just for the House of Windsor, but for the idea that even the most public families can find private forgiveness, whether or not there's phone tapping, and of course there is. So we wait and we watch, with sympathy, with curiosity, and I would argue with a measure of pity for a family unable to keep its wounds from becoming national theatre.